Welcome everyone to this month's membership moments or membership momentum virtual series. We are really, really lucky to have everybody here today. We have an incredible speaker that we're going to introduce here in a minute, but Sandy Olson is with us. We have people jumping in left and right, beeping in our ears, which is fantastic. But to be able to walk us through what today looks like for our second in this series of membership momentum, we're going to do just a quick overview. We'll let Sandy give her presentation. There'll be time for questions and answers. And about 5:40-ish, I will then take back the reins to be able to give you a heads up of what's coming for the next couple of sessions. And then we'll wrap up by 5:45. And then if anybody needs to stay on after that to ask more questions, you certainly can. I'll just stop the recording at 5:45, just so you guys know, to keep it short on the YouTube channel for later, which, yes, that does mean this is going to go on the YouTube channel. So if you happen to want to go back and watch it again, because I know you all will, or you want to share it with someone because they didn't show up, you're welcome to be able to share that. It's out last month's is out there as well with the three clubs that shared their membership story and their membership journey with what they're doing for innovative clubs and how they're growing. So with that, let me introduce tonight's special speaker. Our spotlight person is Sandy Olson. Sandy, I first got to hear her, she probably doesn't remember this, at Glen Allen probably 4 years ago. We were down at a zone membership summit, and she was on a panel with Bubba, also known as Sean Sawyer, talking about this cool thing called Discover Rotary. And my little antennas were like, bing, straight up, and I'm like, tell me more. I want to learn more about this. So that was kind of the beginning of me hearing about Discover Rotary. But she's the person who started it down in South Carolina. And I was really, really thankful through the power of Zoom that she could join us tonight. But before I hand it over to her, I want to give you guys just a little bit of background on Sandy. I'm not going to read her amazing storied resume, but at least to give you some of the information. She's our Zone 33, which for those of you that went through my DG visits, Zone 33 is from Western Pennsylvania, so Pittsburgh down to the South Carolina Georgia line. So we get her. Zone 33, she is our innovative club advocate team member. She is involved with intentional growth strategies and Discover Rotary for the zone at her district in 7770. She is also an assistant governor, or she's been an assistant governor. She is the district membership chair since 2022. She's been on the membership team since 2018. So she knows membership really, really well. Personally, though, she lives in Chapin, South Carolina, with her husband, who you'll maybe see wandering through because he wandered through a little while ago. He is a retired Air Force fighter pilot, having served 20 years, and they do have a son who resides in Columbia, South Carolina. She is an incredible, incredible force, and we are so, so lucky to have Sandy here with us today. And Sandy, I'll shut up and let you take it from here.
Right, I'm going to share screen here.
Fantastic.
And bring it up. And hopefully everybody can see that. And
yep,
we will go
there you go.
to slideshow. There we are. Well, first of all, what an honor it is to be with our District 7610 folks with 60 Rotary and Rotaract clubs and nearly 2,000 members. I bring you greetings from the sunny South and District 7770 in South Carolina. So I guess it would be appropriate to say, hello, y'all. Glad to be here with you. And so actually, I want you to know that I do have roots in Virginia. My mother was born in Virginia in a tiny little town in the mountains in Southwest Virginia called Burke's Garden. And that's quite a ways from Fredericksburg, but nevertheless in Virginia. So I do have Virginia roots. I want to start by going back to the beginning of the club year when Stephanie Urchik, our Rotary International president, challenged all of our district governors to grow their districts by 4 new clubs and 100 new members this year. So my question is, how are you all doing with that? Because I don't know about your district governor. Our district governor responded to that by saying, say what? You want us to do what? And so we've been working hard at trying to make that happen. And I bring that up because membership growth or membership is the heartbeat of Rotary. And without the hearts and hands of membership, we can't do the work of our beloved foundation, nor can we tell our beautiful public image story. So I bring all that up because when we get membership right, everything else falls into place. But when we don't get membership right, everything else becomes a struggle. So let me ask you, do your clubs struggle to find members who will be president of the club, serve on the board, or take on special projects? Are members just not reaching out and inviting new members to join the club? I've got an answer for that, and it's a surefire solution. It's called Discover Rotary. It is still the gold standard for growing membership in Rotary clubs. And I was absolutely blown away recently when I got an email from a gentleman out in Arlington, Texas, who wanted to know more about Discover Rotary. He's in District 5790 out there in the Arlington, Texas area. And he was just navigating around on different zone sites, and he came across Zone 33 and our information on Discover Rotary, and my name was there. And so he got in touch with me. So we have carried Discover Rotary all the way to Texas. So the first big question is, what is it? Discover Rotary is a small, easy to plan, easy to do, low-cost way to introduce potential members to Rotary. It's where you tell the powerful story about taking action to create lasting change around the globe in our communities and in ourselves. It is a simple, casual business meeting where you show a PowerPoint presentation and you tell the Rotary story. You keep it small. It's real important to keep it small, no more than 3 to 5 prospects. So you have the chance to get to know potential members, what they're looking for in their Rotary experience. Because then when you figure that out, you can deliver it. And Discover Rotary is when to get started on that. Serve a few light refreshments. Actually, bottled water is good enough. And keep the meeting to 45 minutes to an hour. Let's talk about some best practices for Discover Rotary. What works? Or what have we seen work that has gotten results? Well, first of all, as I've said, but I'll reinforce, you want to make the setting small, relaxed, informal. Why? Because if you do a Discover Rotary with casts of 1,000, you can't get to know those prospective members. And that's one of the most important things you want to do during Discover Rotary, is get to know the prospect, find out what they're looking for so you can deliver. You want to be able to engage them one-on-one. And so by the end of the meeting, that they walk out of the door of your Discover Rotary meeting thinking, I want to be a part of this. So no more than 3 to 5 prospective members, no more than 2 to 4 club members. And then you have those club members take notes on what the prospective member is looking for. Now, when do you do Discover Rotary? Well, our club, Forest Acres here in the Columbia area, we're a lunch club. So we do Discover Rotary right before our club meeting. If you're a breakfast club, you can do Discover Rotary right after the club meeting or whenever it works for you. Same with if you're an evening club meeting, you can do it right before your meeting time or whatever works for you. Stephanie Urchik says an interesting thing. While 150,000 people join Rotary every year, about 160,000 leave Rotary. Members, she says, are not finding value in their club experience. They don't leave Rotary, they leave the club. And so it's important that if that's going on in your clubs, to evaluate why that's happening and do something about it. Because Discover Rotary is very effective at bringing them in the door, but it's up to you to create the magic and deliver a club experience that will keep them coming back. Now let's look at a couple of success stories. My own club, Forest Acres, grew from 33 to 55 members doing Discover Rotary over a 5-year period. Now, it didn't happen in 1 year. It doesn't. It needs to be slow, intentional growth. And so, we did, by using Discover Rotary, that created for us moderate, consistent growth, adding a net 4 each year over that 5-year period. Now, how did we get down to 33? Just the opposite. We had a consistent 10-year period where we went net -2 every year for 10 years. That was 20 members. That's how we got down to 33 members. So Discover Rotary worked for Forest Acres. Columbia East went from 37 to 63 members. Our Myrtle Beach Club went from a 91 to 115 members. Our Charleston Club just last year went net 15. And then this year, our Bluffton Club started a satellite, and using Discover Rotary, they have started a satellite with 19 members. So let me tell you, folks, it works, but you have to do it right. And so we'll get into that in a minute. Let's talk about some of the benefits of Discover Rotary. Why should a club do Discover Rotary? Well, first of all, it's a great way to cover attrition and guarantee moderate, consistent growth every year. Prospective members learn about Rotary, and that way they learn about Rotary before they join, so that they can make an informed decision about joining, and so that they understand who and what they're getting into, what they're joining. I've heard club members say, well, I'm not going to bring anybody to Discover Rotary. I'm just going to bring them to a club meeting. And, I hate to disagree with that, but that doesn't work. Because what happens at a club meeting? You have a speaker at a club meeting that may talk about something like the YMCA. And so that prospective member at that club meeting, they're going to walk out the door knowing more about the YMCA because that was your speaker that day. They're not going to know much about Rotary. And on top of that, they witness you all doing something like standing up and saying the 4-way test. And they have no clue what the 4-way test is. And then there are those of us who at a meeting love to throw around our favorite acronyms. So we talk about AG, PELS, E-Ray, TRF, DDF, RLI, and RID. And these poor prospective members are looking at us like we're speaking a foreign language. And so actually what's happening there is we're practicing unintentional exclusivity. So when they walk out the door after a meeting, they don't know much about Rotary. And they may be questioning, well, why did I come? So Discover Rotary will fix that for you. It's a great way to vet potential members, to make sure those that you're thinking about bringing in have the heart for Rotary and the commitment to service above self. Discover Rotary is a great public image tool because even if that prospective member doesn't join, they're going to go tell their friends about the meeting they just attended and what a good thing Rotary is. So here's another benefit that a lot of people don't realize or don't talk about. If you do a Discover Rotary presentation for your club, the club itself, during the year, all kinds of good things happen. First of all, it will help club members refresh their knowledge and understanding of Rotary. I can't tell you how many times I've had a club member come up after we've done a Discover Rotary for the club itself and say, Sandy, I didn't realize that about Rotary. So it's a good way to help. It's a good way to refresh your members. It helps members reconnect with why they joined Rotary. It will also help you win the hearts and minds of club members to do Discover Rotary as a way to grow your club, just in case you have some reluctant curmudgeons in your club that may not be much open to doing something new like Discover Rotary. It will help win hearts and minds. But I'll tell you, the most important benefit of all for Discover Rotary is that it will help eliminate the three big reasons that people leave a club. Now, we know from information from Rotary International that 50% of all people who join Rotary leave within the first 1 to 3 years. That's a scary statistic. And here's the reason why they leave: cost and time, unmet expectations, and club environment. Now, if you do Discover Rotary right before they ever join, they're going to understand the cost and time expectation because you're going to cover that in Discover Rotary. If you do Discover Rotary right, you're going to know what their expectations are. You're going to know why they are interested in Rotary and why they might want to join. So you can start delivering on their expectations right away. And then club environment. Club environment is the same thing as club culture. In Discover Rotary, when you set the tone for a friendly, welcoming, and caring club culture, if they walk into a club that's not that, they're likely to leave. I cannot tell you how important club culture is. In fact, Stephanie Urchick tells us that club culture is the #1 cause of membership decline in Rotary. So it's very, very important that your club culture matches what you create for a prospective member in Discover Rotary. And so folks, I'll tell you, I have a whole different PowerPoint presentation on club culture, and I'd be happy to do that anytime. All you have to do is call. Now I want to talk a little bit about what Discover Rotary is not, because I've seen Discover Rotary done in some really strange ways. And so I want to caution you about a couple of things. First of all, Discover Rotary is not a standalone strategy. It's part of a whole set of intentional growth strategies. And nobody will agree with me more on that than our Rotary International Director, Patrick Eakes. Patrick and I did several Zoom presentations together where he talked about intentional growth strategies, and I talked specifically about Discover Rotary. So it needs to be part of your membership team. Notice I said team, not your single membership chair, but your membership team. There are too many working parts to membership growth in a club to just have one person responsible for it. So make sure you got a team. You need a written membership plan. Make Discover Rotary this centerpiece of a membership plan. Make sure you set a membership goal in the Membership Success Center in DAC-DB. Make sure you have a strong onboarding program that delivers. There's no greater way to set someone up for failure than to do an excellent Discover Rotary program and then into a club that doesn't have an onboarding program. And then part of that onboarding program, you need to make doggone sure that there is a mentor program so that club members have a mentor that guides them through their first months being a member of the club. Now, let me also tell you this, that Discover Rotary is not new member orientation and training. I had a club member ask me one time, Sandy, isn't Discover Rotary and new member orientation the same thing? No, because remember, Discover Rotary is done before they join the club. And it's meant to introduce them and whet their appetite for Rotary. New member orientation takes place after they join a club. And it goes into much greater detail on what it means to be a Rotarian. Discover Rotary was never intended to be a big, expensive country club dinner and drinks social event. It's too hard to plan. Those kinds of events are exhausting to conduct. They're expensive, and you can only afford to do something like that once a year. Discover Rotary was only and always intended to be an easy, minimal cost, small, casual meeting so that you can do several of them throughout the club year. Okay, so how do we do it? You know, we've talked about what it is and what are the benefits and the do's and the don'ts. How do we do this? On the Zone 33 site, there is a recipe for success. So you can go to that documents library at Zone 33 and find the recipe for success. However, I've had a lot of feedback that it's 2 pages long and it's complicated. And so I'm all about, let's make it simple. Let's make it easy and simple to do. So here's an easier version. You're gonna have a planning stage where you plan it. That's the time to win the hearts and minds of your club to support it. You need club members on your side when it comes to doing Discover Rotary, because they're the ones that will invite people to attend it. You want to set the dates for your Discover Rotary throughout the whole year. So at the beginning of the club year, set your dates when you're going to do it, so you can be promoting it within the club. Identify where you're going to have it. Generally, clubs do it around a club meeting or whenever it works. But you want to communicate the date of the Discover Rotary enough in advance to give club members time to invite someone to attend. You want to make it fun, but be consistent. Now, I caution against podium promotion, what I call podium promotion. Nobody's going to invite somebody to Discover Rotary if the club president gets up at the podium during a club meeting and says, now I want you all to remember we've got Discover Rotary coming up on May 28th, so make sure you remember to invite someone. Nobody's going to do that. That's just going to go right over their heads. They're not going to think that that applies to them. So what that club president needs to do, and the board members, they need to go one-on-one with people and say, John, Earl, Peter, I expect you to invite someone to our May 28th Discover Rotary. Will you do that, please? And then club members extend the invitation, and then the club membership chair can follow up with the prospect to let them know that you're looking forward to have them attend. Okay. We'll move right along here. On the day of the meeting, you want to arrive early, set up, make sure your PowerPoint works, have a sign-in sheet so you can capture prospect information, because somebody in the club might invite somebody and they haven't told you about it yet. You want to have name tags done in advance in large letters so everybody can read it. And make sure that you have a couple of club members there to help you, but also for them to talk in the introduction about why they joined and why they have stayed in Rotary. Make sure the introductions are only 30 seconds long. Basically, name, where they work, and why they joined Rotary. If you turn the microphone over to a Rotarian to introduce themselves, it will take up the entire Discover Rotary meeting. So make sure they understand 30-second introduction. Then you do about a 20-minute PowerPoint presentation, and you provide information for the prospective member to take home, like a past copy of the Rotary magazine, a club brochure if you have one, or a flyer on an event coming up. And then you want to follow up. After that is over with, you want to follow up. Contact that prospective member and let them know you're happy they attended. Invite them to a club meeting or a club event but keep following up with them. The other thing I recommend that you do with Discover Rotary is let's get innovative and flexible. You know, we said earlier, we have to learn how to take Rotary to people and not expect people to come to Rotary. So let's take Discover Rotary on the road. You can do it one-on-one at a prospective member's office if they cannot attend the scheduled meeting. You can do Discover Rotary via Zoom. Or you can take Discover Rotary to a company and present it to a group of employees. There's lots of ways that you can do Discover Rotary. So let's put the bow on the package. Discover Rotary is the gold standard for growing membership in Rotary. It's best done in a small, informal meeting that allows you plenty of opportunity to engage prospects. It's part of a set of intentional growth strategies, and it can help you address 3 of the most common reasons that people leave Rotary. So here's an ending quote that I leave you with from Robert Jarvik, who some of you will recognize that name. He was involved in developing the first artificial heart. Robert Jarvik said, "Leaders are visionaries with a poorly developed sense of fear and have no concept of the odds against them. They make the impossible happen." So here's my response to that when it comes to Discover Rotary. Go out there and do Discover Rotary. Have no fear. I guarantee it will grow membership. And it is very possible and easy to do if you do it right. And so that's it, Amelia. And so I'll turn it back over to you. I will stop sharing here and we'll.
All right. Thank you so much, Sandy, for that. That was amazing. And as next year's membership chair for my club, I took down ferocious notes. So thank you for this. It gave me a bunch of really good ideas as we went through. This is a good time for everybody to start asking questions. You can either raise your hand or come off mute and interrupt each other, however you want to do it. Please come in and ask questions and give feedback to Sandy as we go.
I had a quick question.
Yeah, go ahead.
So you suggested doing this. Oh, first of all, thank you so much. Wonderful presentation. Nathan Denoyer, I'm from the Fairfax Club. You had said to do the presentation to the club. So just in lieu of a speaker, do just the 20-minute PowerPoint presentation, maybe like once a year. Like what sort of cadence did you find worked well for you in your club?
The time frame is really up to when the president can work it into the schedule. And so we try to do Discover Rotary at least once a year to the club members, because if they don't know what Discover Rotary is, they're reluctant to invite somebody to it. So if you can show them what Discover Rotary is and show them that it's a great way to introduce a prospective member, then they'll be more inclined to support you and invite people to it. So, and when you do a Discover Rotary and you bring a couple of club members in, rotate your club members so that several of your members during the year get an opportunity to actually sit in and see what a Discover Rotary is all about. I hope that answered.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you, Nathan. Peter, you have your hand up, DGN.
Yeah, just a quick comment for you and a suggestion. If you have a moment like that and they bring someone in who's not on your roster or some unexpected person, a great tool, I don't know if you've heard of Ignite with DACDB. We used it this past weekend when we had a basically get to know Rotary event at a local car show. I used the Ignite when people come up and talk. I would have them fill it out. There's right on my phone. They type in their information and hit it, and that goes to my club membership chair. So if they have that at the moment, yeah, there's Steve. In fact, he's the guy, my club membership chair here. But that was a great way. So he gets them and can send out more information to them. You don't have to worry about, well, did they fill out or having the forms there for someone who wasn't pre-registered. And you can even have your members who are asking them to come put their names in there, and that can be part of it. So just a suggestion for you.
Absolutely. Technology is a wonderful thing. And on DACDB, there is a customer service module that can help you capture information about prospective members so that when they join your club, it's much easier to just go to get them into Rotary International and into DACDB. So yeah, use technology.
Yeah, that's awesome. Steve, you didn't raise your hand, but you put into the chat that you guys just had a great Discover Rotary and you guys inducted 2 new members. Is that right?
We had it on the 1st of May. We had two young ladies. But we have 2 people that weren't there who are joining us. It's it's a husband-wife team that do local theater. And they just were approved and are sending in their payment.
Wonderful. Thank you, Steve. It works, guys. It works. When it's done and it's done right, it works fantastically.
Yeah.
What other questions? Who's had experiences with it that they want to share? Oh, Eileen, you have your hand up. Yes.
I do. So we did a Discover Rotary just a few days ago. We had it in a home, and we had a few Rotarians, and we had 4 prospects there, and 3 of them joined. So when Sandy says that it's a 50% success rate, we're actually beating that one on that occasion.
Yeah.
So yeah, and what we did to create the Discover Rotary slides was the first half of it basically dealt with Rotary writ large and all of the things what is Rotary, etc. And then we went into the club experience and we had slides that demonstrated all of the projects that we do in fellowship, etc. It made a nice package.
That's awesome. That is exactly what we want to hear. Super cool. What other questions do you guys have or feedback? I'm like looking around because there's a bunch of screens on there, but I know that I just put out there. So we were down at the Zone Summit. I haven't had a chance to talk to Eileen yet about it because she was on vacation. Apparently she gets to go on vacation every now and then. So she missed it. But one of the things that came up, Sandy, I want to ask you, they were talking about having the district update and customize the Discover Rotary package so that it's a little bit easier for the clubs to be able to go out and do. And they even had talked about having district members come in to be to do the first Discover Rotary or the first couple just to be able to coach through it. Is that something that you're seeing in your district, and is that a best practice that you're seeing across the zone?
I'm not seeing it in 7770, but perhaps eventually it will start up. One thing I have to caution you about is on the Zone 33 documents library, the video of me doing Discover Rotary that they have there is an old one. And so I'm happy I have an updated one. And I'm happy to share that with you all anytime. And so
that would be fantastic. If you want to shoot it to me, I can include it as I send out kind of a wrap up with this to everybody with the YouTube link and stuff. That would be helpful to be able to say, hey, here's where to go see this in live and in action. I think that would be helpful. Thank you.
will do.
Earl, you popped off. You have something you want to say?
I was just going to ask how you originally got the idea and how this evolved into what's Discover Rotary today.
I'll give you the short version.
Okay.
When I was president of our club the first time in 2005 and 6, we were 50 members strong. We were a good, strong, medium-sized club at 50 members. And I took a job after that year that forced me to travel. And so I couldn't be in Columbia on Wednesdays. And so I couldn't meet with my club on a weekly basis. We're a lunch club on Wednesdays. I was on the road. And so I missed out for about 9 years. So when I retired in January 2016, I said, the first thing I'm going to do is go back to Rotary. And when I walked into my club that day that I went back in January, There were about 15 members at the club, and I stopped dead in my tracks and said, my God, what's happened here? Well, what had happened was from 2006 to 2017 or 2016, is over 10 years, they had gone net -2 every year for 10 years. So they lost 20 members. So they went from 50 to 33 members in that period of time. So, we had to do something. And so I went to our district training conferences, and speakers like Terry Weaver was there, and Chris Jones. And Chris was doing a talk on information hour. And I was so impressed that I went into another session and grabbed the person who was going to be our club president and dragged her into this session and made her listen to Chris talk about information hour. Now, it didn't go over well in our club. We didn't have a lot of support for it. It was new and people were reluctant to change. I even had one club member complain, Sandy, Rotary is not something that you should go out on the street corner and sell. And so we had a lot of resistance. And so we eventually evolved calling it Discover Rotary. And when we changed it to Discover Rotary, it worked. And club members embraced it and started doing it. And then Terry Weaver had me do it for a membership summit for District 7770 in 2019. And boy, I'll tell you what, it took off like wildfire after that.
That's awesome. I can tell you that just the ones that we've done at our club has been amazing. Seeing the success stories when we had our president's call on, I guess it was last night. What day is it? Where am I? We had our president's call last night, and several of our members said that they had done them and had great success stories coming out. So just we did a leading up to this series that we're doing right now. We did a membership area membership roadshow summit type thing, and we took our membership summit out into each of the areas and did 9 of them over a month. And as part of that, gave the opportunity for, showed them Discover Rotary, gave them an opportunity for a public image grant to be able to help fund some of the Discover Rotary promotion and public image for their club. And so we're kind of starting to get some of those results in, and we're seeing where clubs like Steve's and June and others did and are seeing new members coming in here at the last quarter of the year, which is amazing, which is what we were looking for, because some of those will join now. Some will come in over this summer, and we'll start off next year with a strong bench. So we're excited about this. And so I thank you for bringing the idea to Rotary and to the zone and giving all of the tools. And one of the things I love about this, willing to share all of our stuff. So thank you for that. Nathan, you have your hand up for one last question, and then we're going to do our wrap up. Go ahead.
I just
Nathan?
wanted to
There
compliment
you go.
whoever put together that PowerPoint that's in the, I guess it was on DAC-DB. It's very well done, and you can modify it, which I did. And it's still, the gist of it is there, and you get through it about 20 minutes. So it's great.
Yeah. Thank you, Steve, for that. It's an excellent tool. Nathan, go ahead.
Yes. Will there be another opportunity for a grant like that in the future?
There might be, it depends. This year, the funds came from the zone membership funds to be able to do that, or the RI membership fund. So maybe it depends on what happens next year and how much RI approves for districts to do. So right now it's closed as far as you have to get your stuff in, because the Discover Rotaries had to be done by last Friday to be able to qualify for that specific grant. But so it depends. Sound like a lawyer, don't I? Or a banker. I guess I was a banker. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get us wrapped up here so we stay on time for for this, and or if I get my little slideshow to come up for this, has some upcoming infomercial moments of what's coming up for the district next Tuesday. So a week from now, I hope that you'll find yourself in Tyson's Corner, because the Rotary Club of Tyson's is organizing our next Rotary Connects networking opportunity. So it's all about fun and networking and connection and fellowship. And it's about just getting out and connecting with other Rotarians and Rotaractors from our district and others. Since I see Marilyn's out there, you're welcome to come down. But I know it's during your red line happy hour, so you'll probably actually be at that. But we would love to have more Rotarians at this, but it's also open to non-Rotarians. We did our last one last month that Mark Evans, who's on, helped organize at with the Dunlowering Merrifield Club. And we had about 60 people there. About a third of those were non-Rotarians, or as I say, not Rotarians yet. So, and some of those have already reached out and already starting through the membership process with clubs. So this is a great opportunity to come out, meet people, mingle, get a chance to talk with them. So that is next Tuesday on the 27th from 5 to 7 in Tyson's and it's being hosted by First National Bank. So we'd love to see you guys come out to that. And then the next big district event, before I go back to what's next month, the next big district event is the awards and installation on July 13th. I've sent some emails out about it. Please plan on coming. It is a great opportunity to just celebrate the amazing stuff that our districts have done this year. But also we've got some fun different awards coming. The president saw last night what's coming for the membership award, but I won't spoil it here. But there's some really cool things coming up. And it's also a chance to be able to thank this year's leadership team, our presidents and our assistant governors and the whole leadership team for just having an amazing year. And then kicking off for this coming year with having DG, at that point, DG Ravi Cooper and her team to be able to get them installed and kind of kick off the year. So it's a great opportunity, kind of that midsummer connection point. So that's coming up again on July 13th. And then our next one of these, if this will advance for me, is again on the second Tuesday of, or the third Tuesday of June, which would be on June 17th. And we're going to be hosting District Governor Ron Pierce, who's out of North Carolina. Some of you have seen his video, The Courageous Club Turnaround. It's all about creating a better club experience and a better, really, how do we engage our existing members to make it even better so we don't lose them. When you start looking at Sandy's talking about 2 a year, that happens in a lot of our clubs. So how do we just make it better so we don't want to lose them? So hopefully you'll be able to come to that. Again, it's from 5 to 5:45, same format as this. After he's done on the 17th of June, on July 15th is Patrick Longano, who's going to be talking about innovative clubs and impact, and then wrapping up this series. And this may go longer. This is what we scheduled for the first 5, but wrapping up this series on August 19th is RI Director Patrick Eakes, and it's all about engaging our members with better onboarding. And I think you heard it loud and clear from Sandy. We have to have better onboarding in order to be able to keep our members once they come in the door. So that's what's coming up here in the district. Hopefully you'll be able to come out to one or more of those and be part of it. And I want to say again, thank you to all of you for getting on tonight, to Sandy for being able to share your wisdom, for having the forethought way back then when in 2019 to be able to bring this out to your district and then sharing it with the zone. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And with that.